Alrighty, people. Time for episode 20 of No Fat Chicks 42. I am running on zero battery. I had a great weekend. Did a lot of moving around and a lot of eating. It was a lot of moving around followed by a lot of doing nothing. And now I gotta kick my ass into gear, just like everybody else out there, and get back to work on Monday. Nobody likes going to work on Monday, let's be honest. It's weird. You do. Or you're just the lucky one that got the right job, the one that you grew up wanting to do. I wasn't one of those kids that knew they grew up wanting to be something and then just pursued it and became it. I gave up on my dreams, guys. Because podcasting wasn't a thing back then, guys. Nobody in kindergarten back in like 93, 94 was like, I want to be a podcaster. So my dreams couldn't even exist because what I wanted to do didn't even exist. But it wasn't even around back then. So this episode is going to be pretty wild in the beginning. And then at the end, we're going to give you some straight sports talk. It's going to kick ass because Dave breaks down the NFL like a motherfucker. The guy watches Red Zone. You know the NFL if you watch Red Zone. There's no commercials. You don't have to move your ass. So at the end, there's a treat. You're going to enjoy listening to the breakdown of the league, who's real, who's shit. And I even got Brandon to come in, give us some what's up on the Alabama game. They rolled LSU. So Naynay is a trooper. 6 hours traveling all day today. And he was at the game, and I'm just impressed with him. And I was surprised by how well he composed himself tonight. And props to you, Nathan. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dodgers and John Stevens. Is it John Stevens? I think that's his name. Lost his job today, the Kings coach. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We haven't done much research, so there really isn't much to talk about. And as you can tell by my fumbling, I am gassed. So I'm going to get off and edit this shit and post it, motherfuckers. See you guys.
What's up, Jim?
Dude, so sorry. It's taking me so long.
You're good, buddy. You're good.
How are you feeling?
Terrible.
Are you really?
Well, I've been stoned. Actually feel great. Been stoned all day.
Me too. That's what I've been doing all day. How'd you get home? Did you fly?
No, dude, we drove 6 hours.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but flights were like fucking $1,000 or $500. So.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer. My buddy's in sales too, so we got free gas.
Hold on, let me get your brother on this. Alrighty, hey Dave, what's going on?
Talk to me, brother.
Hey, bud. Sorry it took me forever. I've been too baked all day long. I'm on every single hemp product you guys could possibly think of. CBD. I'm on some THC, indica, sativas, hybrid. You name it, boys. It's in my system.
Dude, are you doing the overactive?
Yeah, I am actually. That shit's awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm all about it, man.
Yeah? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, obviously I can't use it, but... Well, no, you can use the non-THC stuff.
Yeah, it's just CBD.
I know. I mean, I definitely will just to, like, my back, and I'm starting refereeing this season, so, like, I'll take whatever I can get.
What are you going to do?
What are you telling me?
What are you refereeing?
Are you telling me... What is that?
What are you refereeing?
College basketball and high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Isn't that dangerous because you gamble?
Well, you know, nobody knows that I gamble until you put on this podcast.
Okay.
Listen, this is what I said to the guys. I said, listen, like, I held off for years. Nathan can attest. Did I not hold off on this for a few years?
Yeah, let's not say years. I think it was a couple months when you were trying to figure out if you could,
Several months over the course of a couple years, and finally I was just like, you know what, like, I don't like I'll go on a hike, but I'll do it just so I don't get fat. Like I don't like to do shit, you know, like, all I like to do is gamble and drink whiskey. And that's it. So I was just like, hey, if you want to give me a Division I game, I'll stop gambling. But none of my games are on the board, so I can bet as much as I want.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
nobody's betting the Salt Lake City Community College basketball game.
Dude, you don't need to run down my conference. Like, you just don't need to do that. Like, we get it. I already said it. I think everybody gets it. Like, hey, it's not on the board, meaning, hey, it's subpar. You know,
We'll make sure the listeners know really where you stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Gotta clarify.
Yeah, we'll give the city, the actual school that I worked last night. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, give them the airline that I'm flying tomorrow when I'm half a bottle in. That'll be awesome, dude.
Yeah, what hotel are you at? What's the room number? Yeah.
Yeah, how much I took out of the mini bar, how much vodka I poured out and poured water into, like...
We already know you have trouble. You already have trouble with room service, so if you can, bring him food.
Yeah.
Dude, honest to God, like, I can't kill anybody with Nathan because, like, he'll just spill his guts, but, like, completely on accident. Like, it won't be like, oh, like, I'm ranting him out. It'll be like, yeah, no, we were down there. Yeah, they got into a little thing, and Dave slit his throat, and then I took home these 2 blondes, and they're like, wait, what did you just say?
Did you say he slit his throat? Did you sneak that in there? Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't mean to say that. Did I say that? I didn't mean to say that.
He does this all the time, Drew. Where he doesn't realize what he says. You're like, dude, you realize what you just said?
No, Naynay, I want to get right into it though, because I know you're fading. Yeah. We're all fading here. We're all tired as shit. This week is going to be a good week, but Nate, how was Baton Rouge? How was the game? Because you saw one team play very well.
Oh my God!
No, it was. I definitely saw a lot of punts from the LSU Tigers, but. Started off the day, college game days there. So we had a couple Pink Whitneys in the morning.
Ayo.
And got the day started. Head over to tailgate about noon. Mind you, the game doesn't start till 7. We start drinking about noon, and I'm probably 3 Pink Whitneys in by noon. And we go around a couple tailgates. The Southern girls, the Southern Belles were out and about.
Hey.
That was amazing.
How are you?
Was hanging out with some of the college kids for a while, and then we had we knew a guy that worked for Coca-Cola, and we got into like an open bar, like fucking Southern food from like 3 to like kickoff. So I was just crushing. Fucking Sprite and vodkas like for like 4 hours.
Do they have food too?
They had food too, so they had jambalaya, the whole thing. Before we went to the Coca-Cola thing, listen to the Southern hospitality. I'm walking down the street. Each one of us had a 30 rack, and the guy grabs me by the arm. He goes, "Hey boy, you look like you gotta eat. Come here, boy. And he goes and he gives me alligator fucking gumbo. Jumbo, like in the whole Southern spread, like just ribs, like whatever I wanted. He's like, dude, he goes, here's my wife, fuck her. Like I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, like you're awesome, dude. But holy fuck. And then I was like, hey man, I'm like with like 8 people. Is that cool? He's like, yeah, fucking bring them along too. And then he points at my buddy, the only guy wearing Alabama gear. He's like, we'll fucking feed you too. Come on, get over here, boy.
Yo, even the Alabama guy.
Even the Alabama guy, dude, the nicest fucking people I've ever met.
How was alligator or crocodile? Whatever, was it crocodile or what did you say it was?
Dude, alligator, the best fried alligator I've ever had. They had fucking
You've had a lot of
oysters. Yeah, I had a shit ton. He put like 3 scoops on my plate. I'm like, dude, like I'm trying to get drunk today. Like fucking simmer down on the food, but holy shit. It was first class, man. Then we got this Coca-Cola thing, and I just started, one after another, and we stumbled in the game. So I had.
Was that like was it Rose Bowl style in that tent with the Coca-Cola thing?
No, absolutely. Like I mean, first class. Yeah, I mean you'd have to wait for a drink. It was dangerous. So we get in this. We're sitting in the north end. So the way the stadium sits, we're on like the lower side. It opens up to the other side, and it's like awesome sunset, and the place is fucking rocking. It is so loud in that stadium.
Yeah, I bet.
It was insane. So we brought in like a fucking bottle of bourbon, like in our boots, and so we're up there just drinking the entire game. And luckily, I mean, I was not much to cheer for after the halftime. So I will say Alabama is the best team I've probably ever seen, and Tua didn't even play good, so they're definitely going to win. They're definitely going to win it all.
Even do you think they're going to smoke Clemson too?
Dude.
Clemson's like the only team that can even hang with them, but I swear to God, dude, they're so good.
I'll get this on record. That's to say I'm watching the Alabama dynasty. This is the best college football team I've ever seen. Like, if you actually watch them and you don't pay attention to who they're playing against, like, they didn't make any mistakes in that LSU game. Like,
no, honestly, if Tua makes like 3 throws, like he was honestly off. Like they had a chance to beat him if they had a fucking offense. But like even them, like him, like having a bad game, he still threw for like 300 yards. They fucking they beat him by 39. They beat him by 29. So it's like if they even made like a couple throws, they could have beat him by 50. I mean, it was absurd.
Yeah, it's a blowout. I think Ryan, our cousin Ryan, for everybody listening, brought up a great point that during the podcast, the production crew brings up a screenshot of every one of their positions, Alabama, all 22, and everybody's projected first rounder except the quarterback. And you're just kind of sitting there like, okay, like this is, you just kind of tip your hat. I kind of want them to just be like, hey, let's put 4 teams in there, right? Let us duke it out. We could celebrate some other bullshit national championship, and then we'll play Alabama to like make it official. But like, let everybody else like duke it out, you know?
Yeah. Except it's like, honestly, it's a joke. They're a wagon, complete fucking wagon.
They really are. So like, they finally, you're finally seeing them with like an amazing quarterback, because usually that's like their weakest point. They have every other position locked down, and then their quarterback is just kind of just handing it off or getting it to the other people's hands. And now that like when it's in Tua's hands, you're like that guy's their best weapon, and it's that's what you're seeing finally is an offense that's matching how dominant their defense always is.
Yeah, it's like you can't beat them. Like, I mean, even if you slow Tua down, which they did in the first half, it's like their defense pitches a shutout.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, well, how are you going to beat them now? You know what I mean? Like it was to the point where like they ran a kickoff return back and like they didn't run to the house. I'm like, okay, well now they're not going to score, and they didn't score. It's like it's just
yeah.
It's
I don't know how well you can see it in live thing, but their free technique, their defensive tackles, both of them. I watched them throw around LSU offensive line, which I would say is top, I mean, let's call it top 15 in the country just to be fair. You know, it's probably better than that, but let's just say it's that. And these 2 guys were ragdolling their guards and center.
Yeah.
And tackles when they came down, like ragdolling them.
Let me see if my roommate wants to come in here. You guys keep talking about the game. I'll see if Brandon wants to come in here and check, because he's obviously a huge Bama fan. So give me 1 second, okay? You guys talk about yourself.
Well, if he doesn't want to call it, be like somebody said Alabama's going to get flow raced in the BCS or something. Like, just like throw some trash out there. Like you can be like, no, I got to do whatever jerk off whatever he's going to do, and then.
Dude, I saw that sign that one of the tailgates had. Speaking of Alabama, was the water boy's mom said.
Oh God!
She said they say roll tide because they can't spell elephant.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing I've seen. Dude, how about them chanting, "We want Bama at the end of it"? I'm like, oh, that's savage.
Savage, bro.
Oh, they do pay attention to what goes on in the rest of the country. Okay.
Yeah. I will say that LSU night game, everybody put it on your calendars. You got to do it at some point in your life.
Dude, I'm happy you did it, because you definitely took something off my bucket list. Yeah. Don't let me forget, though, we got to talk about, I don't know if you read, I don't know how screwed up you are around, but John Stevens is out as the team's coach.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I got Brandon in here finally. Yeah, so we were just talking about the Bama game and how they were dominating guys. What were you guys still talking about the game, or what were you guys chatting about?
No, I literally just said that. I didn't know you were there.
We just sat down.
Brandon, I was telling everyone, like, everyone has to go to an LSU night game. Have you been to Baton Rouge at night?
I have not. Baton Rouge is not a stadium I got to go to, but I imagine it's wild.
It is, dude. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, it's definitely tough to place to go if you're an Alabama fan, because they fucking chirp you. My buddy, there's like 6 of us, and one of them was an Alabama fan, and like we're going up like through the like we're going up to our seats, and people are just motherfucking them like left and right, and like it's a pretty hostile situation if you're not.
How hostile could it be though for an Alabama fan? Like, what do you do? Like, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, it's like you talk shit, you're gonna get in a fight if you don't. Like, you just didn't say anything, so like just took it. But
I would talk shit like, hey, you didn't cover tonight. You know, that would be like my shit talking if I was an LSU fan.
Yeah, dude, but like you're down south. You say something like that, you'll probably get hit in the mouth real quick. Like, there's so many fights in those stands.
yeah, I mean, I was surprised I didn't see any, but for the most part, we only had like 2 or 3 Bama fans in our section, and one of them was my buddy, but nobody. There was just one older lady that was like kind of talking shit.
Where were you sitting?
We were section 239, so we were like in the corner.
See, that brings up a good point though. The old lady was talking shit. Like,
Everybody talks shit, dude.
I understand this, but these women think that they can say whatever because like I won't hit a woman. You know, but it's like, that should all be fair game. I'm not saying, like, hey, throwing an old lady down a flight of stairs is okay. I'm just saying, like, hey, if I walk in there, you give me a little shit, like, okay, like, I would like to go to the Notre Dame SC game. Some old lady from SC says some shit to me. I'm like, okay, all right. She starts in on me the whole game. It should be well within my right to push her down a flight of stairs. That's all I'm saying.
She was chirping him. She's chirping. She was asking for it. Yeah, the whole game.
Yeah.
The whole time, actually, I thought about it. I was like, if David's here, he'd probably somehow like argue how it is okay to beat this lady's ass because she's just openly mocking people right now.
Dude, they want to be equal. Let's make them equal. Ain't no grown-ass man talking to me like that. I tell you that much.
What did they leave by halftime? Like, did they know they were doomed once they were down by like more than 14 points?
No, they were worried about freeing Devin White.
Yeah, I know. Dude, they were panning Devin White. I'm like, dude, this guy doesn't play quarterback or on the offense. So, like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen here. Like, you can't do miracles, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's the thing. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to see if, like, Alabama plays with, like, 10 guys or something like that just to see if they can do it, you know? Like, just turn it into a total circus.
Brandon, what are the odds that Auburn pulls off the upset? What do you think?
In Tuscaloosa, yeah, like chances are slim. But I mean, dude, I watched years that both of us won the national championship, and I've seen us both be down by I think it was 21 or 27 the first half, and then the other team come back and beat them. Like it's a wild game. Anything can happen, and I mean, what's better for Auburn than hey, let's go completely ruin their season.
Like, do you rest Tua, like, just for these, like, I guess definitely against the Kittadale, because they play Mississippi State next, but do you kind of rest Tua just to make sure he's ready for these tougher games coming up, because do you really need him?
No, because it's Nick Saban, and Nick Saban's going to put him in,
I guess for a quarter.
At least for 1 quarter, and then he'll put him in on any 2-minute offense situations to put him in a game setting.
Okay.
Matt Jones, I think, our third string quarterback, he's gonna get some time. I mean, Jalen's hurt. Tua don't need to be in there. This guy's about to get to show out. He's probably gonna get a transfer request from like 15 different schools after this.
Who, Jalen?
No, the guy is what's the third string's name?
Matt Jones.
Oh. Yeah, see, I didn't know when Tua went down. I didn't know Jalen got ankle surgery, so I didn't know he was actually going to be out.
Yeah,
but, I mean, they would have actually still won that game, honestly, since they pitched a shutout. They had to kick a fucking field goal and they would have won.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna be a final here in New England, boys.
I live bet Packers missed that, and the over didn't hit, so I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh, dude, you had the over too? Yeah.
They kind of laid off. I'm like.
If Tom doesn't score on the 1 yard line, you're not gonna hit the over. That's just like right when that happened, I was like, yeah, that's open third quarter.
By time that the last what was the last game this afternoon? The Rams Saints ended. Between that thing dropped a point and a half. I was like, I am for sure not gonna bet the under on Sunday football. That is some.
That was the easiest bet of the day. Was over in the Rams game.
Oh my God! I can't. Dude, so just to get off this for a second, like I'm talking like I don't know how many bets I had exactly. At least 10, and ended up losing $7 total. Like between $50 and $25 bets across the board, ended up losing $7. Like, it was a nightmare of a day. Like, I don't know. I love it and I hate it.
You did a lot better than me because I got in one of those things where it was like, there's no way I can get another one wrong, so I just kept throwing money at it. Yeah. So I'm officially.
I'll tell you plenty of stories when you're like, it can't get any worse than this. It can't get any worse than this.
Oh, dude, I was gonna cover whatever the last football game was last night. They scored with like 3 seconds left or something, and then they missed the extra point by throwing it over the guy's head.
Wait, don't even get me started on extra points. The Chargers, like, I have this master plan, right? That I could get every kicker in the country and haul them out on trains, Auschwitz style, and take them to a concentration camp and let it fly. Like, I think about it every day. I touch myself thinking about it every day. Like, this is the real goddamn deal.
What?
Watching these guys kick makes me utterly sick.
Can we just take kicking out of the game? Like,
I
just,
know, man.
no,
I'm down.
just because that way
Every
Vegas
time.
has to adjust for no kicking in the game, so you won't get those stupid like 6.5s to where it really just comes down to, is this guy going to be an idiot or is he actually going to do his job?
Yeah, I mean,
Guys, I bet on the Washington State game as I thought. I was blacked out after the LSU game, and I lost a shit ton of money.
Jesus.
And so I was like, I'm going to get back with a Washington State live bet. I bet -6.5. I thought I bet -6.5. I go to a bar. I'm like, they turn on the game. They score with 33 seconds left to go up by 7. Well, they should go up to 7. The guy misses the extra point. They win by 6.
I'm pretty sure I had that one. I think I had that one as well. Was the kicker's name Mata or something?
I have no idea. I'm gonna kill him though.
I'm pretty sure it was because I was pissed because he missed a kick at the end of the first half, and then he missed that too.
So he just double fucked us.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So my story is a little bit better because the next day the bet never went through apparently.
oh,
I was so
There we go.
I never actually made the bet. It was actually amazing.
Then it's not bad for you at all.
No, I know, but I morally went through I thought I lost the bet, and so I got to defeat and was just contemplating suicide, and then woke up to realizing I didn't need to jump out of the ninth story window and dining room Louisiana.
I absolutely think that's the worst thing. Like, because I've always believed you were functioning, but clearly you're not. If you
No, I know I'm full retard. So, hey, anyway, boys, I gotta get off though. I'm gonna miss this flight tomorrow.
oh boy.
I got a 7:30 a.m. flight out of Dallas to good old San Francisco.
You going to San Fran?
No, I'm going to be there for 3 hours, then I'm going to San Diego.
Oh, okay. What's going on there?
Going back home for a funeral, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, no, it's Grandpa's brother, so 94 years, man.
It's a good one.
Yeah, man. Hell of a run. Yeah, hell of a run.
All right. Well, Nate, we'll talk again soon. I'll have you on in 2 weeks.
All right, sounds good, guys. Talk to you later. Have a
All
good night.
right. Dave, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, 94. I was just talking about this with a buddy of mine, but 94 years is a long life. Can you imagine what it's gonna be like when we're 94, or when it's 2080? You know what I mean? Imagine how much has changed since then. From 80, 100 years before in the past. We're gonna be fucked. We're gonna see some crazy shit.
No, absolutely. But I take active measures to prevent that exact scenario from taking place. So I'm all good. I'm all good on that front. But you guys may have some issues.
Yeah, you've bought an exit ticket. You're getting off the train.
Yeah, I keep doing what I did today. Yeah, there's no shot. Every time I see this, when it all went down, and I was thinking about, God, I have no shot. I'm coming close to it.
I think it's impressive how much weight I can gain in one day, and then watch it as it goes on. I can literally put on 5 pounds in one day if I just let myself go. and keep eating. I've had so many little packets of Reese's Pieces, and then I had Thai food, and then before that, all of this I had like a breakfast smoothie and a sandwich. I just kept eating. I think I've had like 10 Warheads. I just keep pigging out like it's Halloween all over again. It's been
That's awesome,
terrible.
though. But you had that smoothie, so you think you're all good. Like, I had the smoothie, and I was just like...
Oh, it was a breakfast smoothie. It was like peanut butter and like chocolate and milk, and and caffeine. So I got wired just to eat more food. But yeah, dude, on Friday I went crazy. I had a whole day to myself to do nothing. So I rode my bike like 8 miles to Camelback Mountain, hiked up one side, down the other side, and then hiked up the other side and down the other side and rode my bike back home. And it was like a total of 4.5 hours. And I've just been eating ever since I did that.
I was just going to ask you, like, well, if you smoke 4 bowls and then have a whole pizza, like, what did you really accomplish? You know?
Just counterbalance everything. I always hit my pen that whole entire trip too, and oh yeah, it was a great 4.5 hours. But yeah, I've been just pigging out, storing it all like I'm a bear. Going
I'll tell you this, though, when I'm on the road with my family, like, if I get down to the gym, even if it's like 10 minutes, I just like, oh, dude, I work out. Like, I did a huge workout, even if I was just like doing nothing. Order a bunch of room service, just tie one off, you know, you're just like, yeah, we're all good here. Like, nothing to see here.
You know, like Postmates and room service, very similar, very the same thing. Like that's like I don't get it. I'm not in those hotels as much as you, so I just rip Postmates all the time, and then I hardly tip because I'm an asshole.
No. It's we use the same thing. That's what we just call it all the same thing. We all call it room service, but we use a bunch of different things. Rarely is it actually room service.
Yeah. You make Postmates go to your hotel. That's gotta suck. If you're a Postmates person or somebody delivering something to a hotel, have to navigate to find the room every single time. The amount of anxiety you have to go through. Oh, that sucks.
No, they usually just stop in the lobby. Nobody really lets them up.
Oh, that's probably the best way to do it. Good thing I don't have that job. I'd get fired.
No, what I do is I'll go down and I'll put in for like one of the apps, and then I'll go down and work out. It's usually like 45 to 55 minute wait, and then when they show up, like my workout ends.
Okay. And then immediately just refueling yourself.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate, like, yeah, it's pretty funny. John Stevens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he got canned today. I don't know much. I haven't had time to research their assistant coach they placed in term for him. I don't know if he's going to be there for a long time. I don't even remember the guy's name, but I mean, I don't mind it. You look at, we have 9 points and we're dead last in the Western Conference, and we have some elite players. I think it's terrible, and so I don't mind it. I'm so happy Dustin Brown's back. But yeah, we look terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree with all. It was funny you brought up that you don't know. Neither did I. Because I just saw it right before we got on this thing. But my thing was, because when I sent the text about them being done, and you argued it, my problem, we didn't really get into it, but my problem was they're doing the same thing that they did in 2013. You know, and they're trying to play the same style, and I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like going to the corners, dumping it in there, this and that. That doesn't really do it. Like when we were at our best, was like, you know, you could see guys come into our zone, whether it be power play or just like their offensive set initially. I mean, those guys were against the board the entire time, you know. And you usually have one guy cutting through like a slot or something like that, and Jonathan Quick was there, and that was the end of it. Yeah, it was very standard. There wasn't, but I always thought we kind of had to put like a wrinkle into it.
Right.
Make them.
We just have no offense right now. We have no offense. Like, and when you're not scoring any goals and you're expecting like your defense just to always hold people like to scoring 2 goals a game. And you might have a chance if the team only scores 2 goals. You might have a chance. You're asking a lot from your defense every single night. So if you can sustain some pressure, it's just like football. It's like what Alabama did. If LSU could not like move the ball at all, so Alabama's defense got off the field and their offense had a chance. Same thing with hockey. Is like they can't maintain pressure. They dump in the puck. They lose it. There's no entry on the power play. They could hardly get into the zone. I was telling my brother, I was like, they should just watch Landeskog and McKinnon and Rantanen and the whole entire offense of the power play for the Colorado Avalanche, because they enter the zone so well on the power play. Now I do like seeing Dustin Brown back. You see, we're 2-1 since Brown's been back, and we scored a lot more goals. And we look a lot better, which I love him as our captain. I really feel like he is our captain, even though Anze's our star. But we need more offense, really bad, and we're not getting. I'm not impressed from some of the younger guys that I thought I was going to be impressed with this year, like Kempe and Iafallo. Even though Iafallo just had a pretty good game.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, they're just, unfortunately, they're just guys, you know.
Yeah. There's no superstars. No superstars. I think what they need would be nice is another first line center. A first line center, and make that way Kopitar. If Kopitar could play second center, I know Carter plays a lot of center, but if he could play winger, if we could have Kopitar matched up against teams, every other team's second centerman, that would be huge. I think it would be so sick seeing Kopitar being able to play against not the best of the best. Even though I think Kopitar is still able to play against the top line centers, it would be nice to see our offense with him playing against those guys. I think he'd play way better.
Yeah, it doesn't mean nothing's a bad idea, I don't think. You know, like that sounds, who's going to argue with you, you know? That's how bad it is. Like any dog shit idea that you throw out there would have been is better. You just can't keep doing what it is. You know, you brought up a great point. Like, hey, you can't expect to only give up 2 goals to win the game. But unfortunately, that's the way that roster was designed, which is what my problem has been with this the whole time. I don't think it's Steven's fault whatsoever. You know, like you just watched. You know, you know more about it than I do. I don't know shit about hockey. I'm just sitting there watching this. It's like, God, like, where are we the best at? And there's not one aspect of our game where I'm like, okay, well, that's good, you know?
Yeah, it's very true. I mean,
when in the past you could hang it up on, hey, we could kill penalties, we could goaltend, we could do all kinds of different things. That's no longer the case in any capacity. And I think these guys, I don't want to say, it's hard to say like rebuild, because you're just like, well, we have good names. We got Kovac, we got Dustin Brown, we got Jeff Carter. A follow you brought up, the kid from Salt Lake. What's the kid from Salt Lake? But nothing's really like stringed up. That you think that's going to make you competitive. So it's like if you're not in it to win it, which clearly there's no shot of that. I mean, you want to talk playoffs? I'll listen to that for a couple minutes, but.
Yeah, I mean, what worries me is like you gotta. Now is the time, obviously, with the homestand they're on. They have a couple games left with their homestand. I think 4 games left, and it's their chance to turn it around immediately. Otherwise, they're gonna get too far behind too quick, and they're never gonna be able to make up that gap, and they're done for. But at the same time, the position they're sitting in right now looks like we're gonna get a really good young player on our teams if we. Get that draft pick, if we get that lottery pick.
That's what I was thinking. It's just like, either way, you go ahead and lean into it for a little bit, but I mean, you got about the next 10 games, you really decide what you want to do.
I hope they turn around. I want to see them be competitive. I love the league so much that I'm not like not gonna watch hockey. I watch so much hockey. It doesn't matter if they're great or not for me to enjoy the season. But I'd much rather be excited to watch them every night than be like, all right, we're gonna get our asses kicked. Who's coming through town to shove it up our hoops tonight? Who's gonna walk all over us?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. This is a nice transition. As to what you think about our boys in blue here. We got a real losing to the Red Sox there. That was rough.
Oh, you're talking about the nice transition of getting things shoved up the hoop. Oh, okay, yeah. The Dodgers got it taken. Yeah, they got bent over backwards, definitely. But Boston was such a wagon. They're so good. They were doing it They were checking all the boxes. They were playing all the aspects of baseball right, and we didn't stand a chance. We didn't stand a chance.
No, and you said it. And you said it just that way too. I actually thought I mentioned to one of my buddies that I thought the ALCS was actually the World Series. I really did, because I don't know if we could have pulled it off against the Astros either. I mean, the Red Sox made them look dumb, but that's how good they were, you know.
Like we played better than I expected, but there was a lot of things I was very disappointed with. That I saw us fouling off pitches. Way too many pitches that we should just hit hard. They hit him square, and we just when if you want to win the championship, I get that we made it there, and everyone's like, oh, we made it there. That's something that to be proud of, obviously. But we gotta win it finally. My gosh, it's gonna be sweeter. The more we lose it, the sweeter it gets. But when the pitcher in the playoffs, in the championship, in the World Series, when the pitcher makes a mistake pitch and you're at bat, you gotta drive that ball. You gotta be. That's your one chance, because sometimes those pitchers are so good. That they're going to give you one small window, and you foul it off, you're fucked. And in a regular game against a shitty team, or a shitty reliever, you foul that pitch off, you're like, all right, cool, that's cool, because they'll make more mistakes, but not these elite pitchers in the World Series.
Yeah, I'll make one point on this was, all that aside, I don't think it changes anything, but I think Dave Roberts taking any sort of heat for what went on is wrong. Taking our best hitters out of the lineup because they were left-handed in game one. Hey, that's one thing. You want to go analytics and all that stuff for game one. Okay, but to do it 2 games in a row on the road is the craziest shit I've ever seen in a World Series.
Oh yeah.
I could just picture Thomas sort of sitting there going, oh my God, what are we doing, you know? And the fact that Andrew Friedman makes $7 million and Dave Roberts only makes $1 million, is all that we need to know about who was writing down that lineup for, you know?
Wait, say that last part again?
And that Andrew Friedman, the GM, makes $7 million, or whatever his capacity, they call him president of baseball operations, or whatever shit they call him, but it's him calling the shots, not Dave Roberts. When that initial lineup card comes out, you know?
Oh yeah, who's setting the lineup, and then he's just got, this is who he's playing with, you know, and he's just trying to move the pieces around. He's got his chess pieces, but he doesn't get to choose the pieces. He just gets to choose how to play the pieces he's given.
Exactly, and so watching that whole thing, like I said, the first time. Hey, hold on 1 second, Mickey.
No worries.
What was I saying? Yeah, to
Dave
try
Roberts.
one. Yeah, to try game one, I have no problem with, hey, we're behind the 8 ball. Anybody that knows anything about baseball is to watch either of these teams knows the Dodgers were up shit creek, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm down to, hey, it was, but after it doesn't work game one, don't double down, you know? Get the analytics out of the game in a 7-game series. You know, we just watched what happened with Craig Counsell. I thought the Brewers, with the analytics bringing in Jeffries, Jeffries was their worst pitcher out of the bullpen, you know? And so they're trying to do these high probability situations or whatever the case, these high stakes situations to bring in, what's his name, the blonde-haired kid, Hader. And I'm just yeah, go ahead, bring him in the 5th inning, you know, yeah. We'll make him throw 38 pitches, he'll be done, and we'll get on to the rest of the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's terrible. Dumb move.
Yeah, you know, it's just come on, you know, I get it, but I just, my problem with this whole thing is, you're only going to have X amount of years where the Giants don't get their shit together. You're only going to have X amount of years where the Yankees aren't having it. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough for these guys to put it together for 1 year and you watch it, because, like you said, you know, we should just be happy, and we are, in fact, you know. I don't know what you thought. Did you think we were going to... I didn't think we were in a position to get that.
What?
the World Series.
We have a team. It's a weird team. It's just like everybody could just hit home runs. That's all it is. It doesn't seem like we have people that play their role. Just everybody just hits home runs. They wait for their pitch and they jack it. And I'm not surprised because with the lineup we had and the payroll for us to win and get to the World Series. So I think that's why a lot of the people don't like the Dodgers is because they're like, oh yeah, okay, just pay everybody the highest and you're gonna get there. So it's no surprise. So to say that I wasn't surprised we got there. That'd be a lie. I'm happy we turned it around. Before, but like when we were having our podcast, I was saying I wasn't seeing anything I was excited about, and a couple of people got hot and at the right time and turned their season around, but they cooled off. They showed their true colors in like the end, and like Chris Taylor, I love that guy. I think they're gonna move him. I think they're going to make some room. I'm not sure if Machado's going to stay. So I wasn't surprised because we have all these players. But and then especially wasn't surprised. What I was surprised though, when we won that 18-inning game, I was like, all right, that could be a difference because it drains you. But it wasn't like we were burning through their pitching staff. They had a guy that came in and threw like 4 innings and stuff like that. So they just had a couple of relievers that pitched well. So I was kind of.
Volpe.
I did think that was.
I thought that Volpe was the boldest. I mean, Baumgartner obviously has my eternal respect for what he's done.
Yeah.
But I thought what Volpe did in that situation, that's one of those things that could easily get lost in a box score 20, 30 years from now. Because it was a loss and all that, but I thought what he did was the craziest, ballsiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean, on a baseball field.
Yeah, he played that. That was a great display of pitching for sure, and in a crazy scenario where everybody else is just mentally drained and get me off this diamond. This is boring. I had such a boring time watching the game. I did not finish the game. I woke up and watched the highlights. I was like, oh cool, we won. I was baseball. My life has to move on. You guys are being selfish. Give me back my life. But Walker Buehler is somebody that I'm impressed with. I hope he does well. I hope Ross Stripling picks it up next year. I hope we have some. I research our prospects, but I hope we have some good pitchers coming up. It'd be nice if we just had a dominant pitching staff, and I think we could. But we'll be right back there again next year. Maybe a bigger name is going to be signing to us. I've been saying Bryce Harper for a while, but who knows if he's actually going to come. And I hope they re-sign Machado because if him, Seager, and Turner in our offense and our defense would be sick.
Yeah, that would be a tough spot. Like that would definitely be a murderer's row of lineups. Because I think I had to come on and say this before we got on to the next topic. Is I had to say I didn't think it was a couple, not the last podcast, but the podcast before. I think when we got Machado.
Yeah.
Before the deadline or after the deadline, and we were talking about all that, and I said, I think it's a wash. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Machado was a clear. Seager does not to say he's not talented, not to say he's not defensively adequate, not to say any of this, but Machado was kind of like a self-starter. We had these innings where nothing's going on. All of a sudden, he's leading off with a double, or 2-out double or something. Like he was just kind of and of course he plays that instigator role, which I kind of saw. I don't watch a lot of AL baseball, but I knew his reputation. I mean, he definitely has an edge to him with him and Yasiel and all that.
Machado? Yeah,
it definitely amps it up. It was different. All of a sudden, this Tuesday afternoon game, against the Padres, it's a throwaway game. All of a sudden, you're just like, okay, what kind of shit are we gonna pull today?
Yeah, it gives that extra element, that head game. Evan used to play like that a lot in baseball. He used to get people, try to mentally get people off their game. If you can't physically outperform them, just get them off their game mentally. And like Conor McGregor just talking to people before the fight, just trying to get you off your game. Mayweather, same kind of thing. But him doing that, it just adds an extra element. But I just like Seager though. I like this way Seager slaps the ball around. He gets base hits. He's I I like the way he takes the at-bat better. I mean, Machado, it just sucks because he swings at the first pitch so often, and like if he became, you're not gonna tell him how to hit. You're not gonna have him come to your team. And you're gonna do it our way, son. You're not gonna do that to that guy. But it's just I wish he would have taken a little more pitches and just got a little better at the at-bat because I feel like he could have had way better opportunity if he would have just sat there and picked his poison instead of going after the first pitch. Even though he swung at some good pitches, I think he could have waited for some better ones.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I don't argue with that.
Well, we'll be back there. We'll be back there next year. No big deal. I got a question for you about the NFL. What do you think about the Cowboys tomorrow? Who do you like?
Dude, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. Like, I think that Tennessee getting 5.5 points for anybody listening to this, if you get it out there before tomorrow's game,
yeah,
that's a lot. There's a lot of locks this week. I thought, like, the over in the Saints-Rams game, it's just like, dude, push all your chips to the middle of the thing. But then getting 5.5 is just like, I don't really know. It's going to come down to a last-second possession, last-second field goal. I think too much is being put on Dak with Amari Cooper and all this. It's like, man, that kind of rapport and that kind of trust takes some time.
Yeah,
I mean,
timing.
You watched Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio today. It's just like, was Antonio open? Was he not? No, but Ben knows he's going to at least go make a play on it, so nobody else can make a play on it, And those are those 50-50 balls, which really are, decide games. It's like watching Tom and Gronkowski, like, that kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight. So I'm kind of wait and see. I don't think this roster was good enough to do anything, but I think it's a close game. I think Tennessee does the best job of, like, mucking it up to best suit their personnel.
Yeah,
so I think, you're going to see one of these. I mean, I wouldn't doubt, 17-13's got this written all over it, I think.
Who do you, so you said 17-13 written all over it?
Yeah, hopefully the Cowboys, but I mean, that's the point. I just think it's a low scoring don't quote me on that. I forget what I saw today, but I'm just like, under Tennessee, I think Tennessee taking the points, whatever it is, it'll probably be down to 5 or 4.5 when that ball kicks off tomorrow. I think all those guys are going to be on it to get their money back after what went on here tonight with the Packers and the Patriots going under. I don't think anybody saw that coming either.
Why? Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are just the Patriots are the Patriots. They're looking good. They're looking formidable opponents. Why are the Titans such a boring team?
I mean, they just basically run the ball, play good defense, play field position. I mean, that's old school football, And unless you're a Titans fan, you don't really give a shit, That's not really. I mean, who wants to watch that? But that's the way it is, and I don't blame him for playing like that. I mean, can you name a receiver on the Titans? I can't.
Rashad Matthews, maybe? I don't know.
I don't even know who that is, but good. If you can, if that's an active player on him, God bless you, But, you'd have to ask like some diehard guys. I'm watching NFL the whole time, and I'm not really sure. I think the jury's still out on Mariota. I think he can do a lot of things. I don't think he's been turned loose because their defense is so good that you're held into this, like, hey, just don't go out there and just don't fuck it up. It turns into this game manager thing, and that's not what he is. This guy is a game breaker. Hey, turn it loose, do what you do, I see that with a lot of guys. I think Dak was the same way. When you see Dak running around, dumping it off, it has this, now all of a sudden you have another running back there that you have to account for. You can't drop 8 guys. You got to have somebody in there. And those are the little things that kind of go on.
You got to use the athleticism if you have it. Like it's just the game itself is too athletic. You have to be the quarterback position. I mean, if you're Mariota and you don't have the same skill as other people, you got and like Dak, you don't have. I think you have to get out of the pocket, create the play. Look at Russell Westbrook. He got into quite a few Super Bowls because he's extended the play, extending the plays with the answers. In there.
Did you see that game today?
No.
I mean, that game was won. The guy dropped the ball. I mean,
which one? Which game?
Or whatever, but for the Seahawks.
Oh, the Chargers. Against the Chargers. Oh, yeah. That's what actually my next point I want to talk about is the Chargers season. But, yeah, keep going.
No, it's just amazing what you were talking about, keeping the drive alive, keeping the play alive.
So is that what he did? Is that what Russell Westbrook did? And then the guy just dropped it?
Yeah.
And, oh, okay.
It was an untimed down. It was an untimed down for a pass interference in the end zone from the 1 yard line. Comes out, rolls out, gives him another 3 or 4 seconds. Guy clears right on the back of the back line there, underneath the upright. It could have been tipped like barely like a graze of the fingertips, like enough to like maybe bail that guy out. The ball ends up hitting him in the chest, falls to the ground, game over.
Oh, my gosh.
But they were there. I mean, they were right there. I thought he was going to take it. The second he was there, like, because it was going to be a race to the goal line between him and 2 other defenders. If he would have taken a shot, God, he would have gotten killed. But I mean, it was definitely going to be like, hey, does he fall forward? Does he get in? You know, that kind of thing.
What? Dude, I can't believe they pulled it off. I'm like I said before, people may know I'm not the biggest Charger fan anymore. It's cool to see him doing well, but it's like, damn, you guys, go back to San Diego and do well. 6-2, look at that. The Rams finally losing, huh? They finally got edged out 10 points, 45 to 45. But Saints beat the Rams finally.
Yeah. When they tied it up, I thought it might be. I thought it was impressive, though. I mean, game down 18 at one point. Maybe it was more than that, but they were down at least 3 scores. Coming back, tying it at 35. Although Drew Brees is going to Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, the Hall of Famer.
I mean, it was good to see, man. I think he always gets lost, not washed with the lack of Super Bowls. But I mean, damn. I mean, it's hard to not pull for the guy under those circumstances, you know.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
I actually think it'll be a good thing for the Rams too. You know, losing middle of the season on a game that they really, you know, could have had, should have had. You know, they definitely didn't play their best game.
Oh, I wanted to see another undefeated season. I was just talking to my roommate Brandon about it. It's just like, I wanted to see it. I want to see another team that's just a machine that you can. They play every single angle the best. But I mean, look at the Rams. They still fought. They couldn't stop. Obviously, the adjustments at halftime that the Saints probably made just helped them edge it out. But their defense is still strong. Their defense is still good. I'm just surprised the Saints are so volatile. They're so variable. Like, they're so up and down each week. You don't know which Saints you're getting. One week they'll get like spanked and shut down, and the next week they'll be scoring. Because I have Breeze as a quarterback in one of my leagues, and sometimes he's doing well, sometimes he's doing shit.
So, do you know the record? Because I was shocked. Because I felt the same way. And I saw the record, I was like, maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh, they're 7-1? Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Maybe their offense is just like, I don't know, but maybe they're figuring out how to win. But I just looking at Breeze as a fantasy quarterback, and some weeks he's been screwing me over.
Yeah, no, and that's where the fantasy kind of gets in the middle of it. But I thought the exact same way that you thought, and I think if you made 3 phone calls to 3 guys that watch the league, you know, not diehard Saints fans or, you know, whatever, but like, I think they would say the same thing, because I was shocked. I thought I didn't know they were 7-1. I thought they at least had 2 or 3 losses. Like, I knew they were leading the NFC South. I knew all this stuff. I had no idea that after the first loss they had rolled off, they haven't lost since the first week 1, which I had in this my really not a big deal. I don't want to get into that. Holy fuck.
We won't get into that.
Nightmare.
Who's
yeah, no, I mean...
Wait, keep going.
No, well, that was it, though. I mean, it's just a very, like, underguarded. And if those guys get home field throughout the playoffs, like, it is... Which essentially could really happen. Now, you know, if they have a... I don't know what the tiebreaker is between interdivision. I'd have to look at it. But if it comes down to head-to-head, now the Rams have to come back out there for an NFC championship. Like, that's no easy task. You know,
go back to what's the name of the stadium that the Saints play in?
Superdome.
The Superdome.
Yeah, you know, and I'm like sitting there after I'm like a bottle and a half in, you know, with the crowd. I'm just sitting there watching this. I was just like, guys, you sit here and watch the whole season with this bullshit, and it's just like, these are clearly the 2 best teams. This is clearly going to happen again, and you have really no idea, because the Rams had 2 or 3 plays where like, God, if they make those plays, what kind of game am I looking at, you know?
Yeah, they're there. They're such a good team. I like the Rams. I do enjoy seen the Rams to be like really good in an elite squad. I'm gonna read you. This is what we're gonna do before we bounce off. I'm gonna read you a couple of the teams, and you're gonna tell me if like they're the real deal. If we're gonna see them late on TV in the playoffs, or you name it, like if they're the real deal, or if they're just not that great. Because we're gonna forget about first things first. Which team is like the worst? Just the top 3 worst teams in the league right now. Top 3 worst teams. Just biggest dumpster fire.
It'll be Bills, Bucks, and Raiders. Like right out of the gate.
The Bills, the Raiders, and which ones?
The Bucks.
The Buccaneers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be forgetting somebody. But I had eyes on all 3 of those guys today. So I had the Bear bet earlier this morning. So I was able to watch that game. And I had the Niners. I had made the bet on the Niners before they ruled out C.J. Beathard. So I thought I was screwed. And then I'm watching this Mullins kid. I'm like, okay, like no rookie quarterback in his first start should be able to roll like that. I mean, they could have good games. You go 15 of 25, no interceptions, maybe a TD. That's something reasonable. For that kid to line him up with like 3, I don't know, he had 3 or 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 300.
Mahomes?
No, this was the kid for the 49ers.
Oh, the 49ers, Trubinsky, that kid. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Tom. No, yeah, they worked those guys.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the 49ers. The Bills game was completed. The Bills game was like, they were trying to game manage it, and then, the Bears got a couple turnovers, a fumble return for a touchdown. That was the end of that. And then the Bucs are just hot garbage,
Oh, the 49ers. Oh, the 49ers worked the Raiders. Jesus, I didn't even realize that's what you were talking about. My bad. I heard the wrong thing.
No, it's all good.
But because the Bills got rolled. Yeah, what would you say?
I mean, that's how bad the Raiders are, though. I mean, these are 2 1-win, 2-win teams playing each other middle of the season. Like, you would think this would be a battle at dickheads, and, field goal in the third quarter wins it. And it's a complete dumpster fire. That's why the Raiders get put on that list.
Let's see here. The other ones are the Giants. The Giants are the only team. So I think the Giants. Looking at the records, because I haven't pulled up, Giants are 1-7, Raiders are 1-7, and the Bills are 2-7. So that's congratulations. But Browns are 2-6-1. So Browns aren't going to be officially my worst because they've got that tie. Nicely done, boys. Also, 49ers, you guys look like shit too, even though you beat the Raiders. It just shows you how bad the Raiders are. I'd say, okay, this is what I was saying. I'm gonna read you a couple of teams. You're gonna tell me if they're the real deal or if they're just gonna get spanked when they face the real deal team. So, Patriots, real deal or no real deal?
Real deal.
Dolphins.
Fakes.
Yeah, they're getting spanked, right? Okay, Chiefs.
Did you watch it? Hold on a second. Before we go on, I don't know if you want the segue to just.
Whatever. No.
Did you watch the Jets game? Who were completely mismanaged, completely I mean, Sam Darnold had a terrible game today, but for the record, they should have steamrolled the Jets, and I would say barely got by. Maybe the score doesn't show that, but it was 6-3 well into the second half. It's typical Miami, but with Osweiler back there, yeah, they're frauds, or however you want to classify it.
Yeah, they barely squeaked it out. They barely squeaked it out 13-6 against the Jets. What a probably a really terrible game to watch.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Ugly football.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next. I'm just gonna do the top 2 teams in each division right now. So the Chiefs obviously real deal. Let's just move on. Right?
They do, but they definitely have to get this November, playing a game late November, cold weather, windy, close game, time management, like the intangible stuff. The stuff that happens that you have to win a championship that the Patriots always seem to do so well, That's really what it comes down to. Unfortunately for them, I just don't see that. Mahomes, he's not a rookie by definition, but to see him be able to do that in a hectic environment with the season on the line, the guy's been unbelievable up until this point. But, like I said, there's another podcast guy that says let's talk about the records after Thanksgiving, and that's what matters.
Ah, okay.
And the Chiefs, unfortunately, even with a lot of these guys on the roster, haven't done that. So are they capable? Absolutely. But do they have the intangible stuff to actually make a run for this? I don't know, but they're definitely in that category.
Okay, so you think they're real deal though?
Yeah, real deal.
Okay. But you're a little bit more curious about them because they just haven't been tested and performed in that really clutch environment where you gotta be clutch.
Correct.
You gotta perform, gotta execute. Chargers, that's kind of be a good one. They gotta be right on that borderline.
Real deal. Had they lost today, because they're gonna have to be on the road. So had they lost today to a completely inferior Seattle team on the road, but the fact that they took care of business, although it came down to the last position, they really were in control of that game the whole time. I would call them the real deal. But again, they have their own bugaboos to kind of get out of. I mean, they let a guy really with no weapons at his disposal march 80 yards down the field and almost put it on him. You just can't have that happen. So, I mean, but are they capable? Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at them while you were talking too, because we were just talking about how Russell Wilson just extends the play, makes that happen. It's tough to defend against. No matter what you can do, sometimes the guy you can't defend it. You can't defend against a guy just being more athletic. You're like,
exactly.
We had everybody covered, and then he rolled out and burned our defensive end because our defensive end is just not as athletic and extended the play. You can't expect guys to get cover all day long. So, but I was looking at them. They have one of the lowest points against, 180 points against. Everybody else seems to have a lot, like more than 200 points against, that are in like the top positions. It's pretty good. They have a decent defense. I'm surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. They have a bunch. I always like the way they drafted with their defense. So yeah, real deal with the Chargers, huh? Okay.
That Derwin James, man, he is the truth. He is fun. How many defensive guys that you turn on the TV to watch? He's definitely one of those guys.
Which one?
I don't give a shit about the
What's his
Chargers.
name?
Derwin James, safety from Florida State.
Okay, he's on the Chargers, all right? Okay, check him out.
Yeah, beast.
I have yet to watch them play this year. I
Get
gotta
on
check
it.
them out.
Not to be missed.
Okay. What about Steelers? You think they're real deal or nah?
Yeah, after what they did today on the road, that's another one. Had I not watched the game today, I'd probably still be on the fence, or had they had lost. But again, that was another game on the road. Their biggest adversary, I think, their biggest competition in their own division, and handled them with ease. So yeah, real deal for them.
Bengals?
Frauds.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
Okay, what about Texans?
Oh, man.
They've won 6 in a row.
I know, yeah. They've had I'll give them this. They play a style of football that is conducive for winning in the playoffs. I will give them that. They could take this show on the road, which they'll have to do at some point against the Chiefs or the Patriots or the Steelers. All three of those teams are going to be better than them, but they run the ball, they protect the ball, not a lot of turnovers. Another real boring, a lot like the Titans, but with more talent, if you will. That kind of shit. They got
a quarterback that extends the play too. Look at their schedule coming up. Check this out. I just pulled this up. They play the Redskins, the Titans, the Browns, the Colts, the Jets, and then they play the Eagles. They have a chance to really smoke some teams, roll through some people coming up here. Because honestly, I did not name a team that is a threat until I named the Eagles.
Right. Exactly. And that's one of the things. They do have a tendency to, like they did today with Denver. They've had a lot of coin flip games. The Cowboys not going for it. They've had a lot of teams screw it up for them, and they end up winning games, which to no problem. That's not their problem. They're definitely in a position to win.
They won by 2.
Denver missed a field goal at the end.
Yeah.
51-yarder at Mile High. Typically, McManus is usually money from there. No, and it didn't make it, so they get the W, so you have a lot of these coin flip games that, shit, you kind of just all right, how many of these coin flip games, with every coin flip game that they win, I wonder how many more they could pull on,
Yeah, Yeah, but I just don't
But
see.
I'll call it the real deal, though. I mean, they got that blue kid as a running back. Their offensive line is good. Obviously, they can stop the run with Clowney and J.J. Watt. They got a pass rush. Like, they have all the things that you can do. Hopkins as a receiver. Will Fuller will get healthy. He'll be back. So I would call him the real deal. But if there's anybody, if you want to put a category of who's ever close between contender and the real deal, that's the Texans to a T.
Okay. So you're saying Texans in the AFC. You got the Texans because Titans. I think the Titans are 3 and 4. They're in second place, but everybody else is 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 5. So since the Titans play you guys tomorrow, and I think you said they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. They're only just gonna score about 13 points tomorrow. So yeah. So nobody else in that division you feel like is the real deal, do you?
No.
Okay.
I think the AFC South, no. I mean, Andrew Luck is still waiting to put the pieces around him, so, I mean, the Texans have got a real shot. And what I think they're kind of, their whole shtick is going to be is getting somebody in a divisional game and, maybe a team like the Ravens gets in on a wild card or something like that, and then maybe they beat them and we all kind of go like, and then they go into Foxborough and get boat raced. And Tom puts up 440, 35 for 42, that kind of shit. But I could see them getting a playoff win for sure.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's it for the AFC then. So you have the Patriots, the real deal. We got 5 teams there: Patriots, Chiefs, Chargers, Steelers, Texans. There you go.
I agree with that.
That's your army. That's your AFC army. All right, so let's go on to the NFC. So we got the Redskins and the Eagles in the NFC East. Do you think any of these guys are gonna do anything?
I mean, if the Eagles get their act together, I mean, they definitely, with the trades that they made, getting another receiver, they got the Eagles can put it together at any moment with Carson Wentz. Once you have the quarterback, your defensive line, Fletcher Cox is still there. You have all these tools there. I think they've been, they have the Super Bowl hangover. I get it. I understand that. What's bad for the NFC East is that Washington leaving the Eagles in it sucks for them. If they could get a 2-3 game lead while the Eagles got their shit together, that may be. But with Washington dropping it to Atlanta, who I think is completely overrated at home, and it's in a real game that all of us that don't care about Atlanta or the Redskins would be like, okay, let me hold, like you asked me about the Steelers. Well, that game today makes that answer easier. Now, if you ask me about the Redskins, they're pretenders. And the Eagles, I would say, are the real deal, even being a second-place NFC East team, which I think is the weakest division in the NFC.
Might be the weakest. It's pretty weak. Pretty weak.
I think so. But again, I'm watching all the games, and I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm biased. I think the Cowboys are terrible. The fact that they're still in the hunt because of that division is, kind of sickening for everybody else.
So, what do you think? Do you think the Redskins are the real deal, or do you think you're going to see them?
No, they're pretenders. Absolutely not.
Then what about
Absolutely
the
not.
Eagles? Eagles, yeah.
Eagles, yes. Eagles are the real deal. Yeah. I mean, they can put it together. Like I said, I still think Carson Wentz hasn't practiced all season. So these are a bunch of exhibition games for him. These shitty throws that turn into pick sixes or ill-advised throws. These are the things most of us get to work out during the offseason. He didn't have that opportunity. This is happening now. And their schedule, because I think they still play all the division opponents, which really, if you're asking pretender or fake, is can you beat everybody in your division? And they can't.
Yeah.
Who name one of the teams outside the Eagles? You have the Giants, Redskins, Cowboys. Would you bet against the Eagles if they were playing any of those teams, no matter where they played those games at?
Yeah, I don't see him. Because I was about to ask you, what do you think about the Cowboys? I don't see him losing to any Redskins, Cowboys. I mean, I was just talking about how bad the Giants were. I don't see him losing to both those teams, the Cowboys and Redskins. So they can go to any one of those barns and win.
Yeah, no. As for Cowboys, I will say this: the Cowboys, though, with that trade, obviously my cousin's a Cowboy fan. Both my cousins, my best friend's a Cowboy fan, so we all kind of talked together. And I said the only thing that this really changes is the look for Dak Prescott. Having that extra defender that has to double team somebody, so you're looking at 7 in the box as opposed to 8, is massive. And I think allowing Zeke. So now you're forcing defensive coordinators to pick their poison as opposed to, hey, I'm going to put 8 or 9 in the box and make you throw these routes. And so it's just, you put in this game plan and it's so simplistic. Like, hey, I'm going to defend everything between the hashes, like run, pass, whatever the case may be. You got to throw 5-yard outs, 10-yard outs, 15-yard out routes, corner routes, whatever the case may be.
Little drags.
Those are tough. Yeah, those are tough throws, So the fact that they got to take that safety out and put him back there to help out with Mark Cooper, even if Mark Cooper doesn't catch the pass, like, we're going to get to see tomorrow what that does for everybody. Does that free up Zeke? Does that free up, what are we doing here? And if that can't hit those throws, then we know our answer. I think it does a lot of things for the Cowboys. It definitively says, like, hey, we have to get in. Which pissed me off about Amari, because if you're wrong about this, you no longer have that first-round draft pick to move up or to swap or whatever you want to do if Dak is not the guy. Because if Dak can't make this work tomorrow, even though it's only 10 days and Martin Cooper's been there, but you'll know. You have a lot more answers and questions after tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah, I think you would hopefully want to see him score more than what you're predicting, like 17. You'd hopefully want to see him go down there, score 35. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think you're gonna be able to do that with only 10 days together?
I don't think so. I saw today. Who got traded here? Demaryius Thomas. And they had all kinds of issues. It damn near lost the game because they had to burn timeout because he didn't know where he was supposed to go. He came in motion and kind of looked around like, now what? And they had to burn a timeout, and it was a 2-point game. That could have bit him in the ass. They got a couple of routes to him early on. They kind of show like, hey, we're gonna, he's not just out there for show. And I'm hoping one of the Cowboy offensive coordinators saw that and was just like, hey, we're gonna put on our script tonight. Well, the script's already been in there, on Monday or Tuesday. But for this example, we'll say, hey, we're going to make sure we get Amari a couple looks early on, make sure that they're paying attention to him, and now we'll open up the rest of the playbook that maybe he doesn't have a whole grasp on. But you want to show, like, hey, this guy's not just standing out there to look good,
He looks pretty running those routes. Look at him run. He's a gazelle. Well, at the end of the day, we're lucky we're given I'm giving you this much time to talk about the Cowboys because at the end they aren't the real deal. They're gonna get spanked no matter what, and we got to move on because these guys are just terrible. They're gonna get spanked.
I do appreciate the consideration for that, though.
You can have a little bit more time to talk about the Cowboys than any other team, but we got to move on to like the Rams and the Seahawks in the NFC West because I don't know if the Seahawks are the real deal after losing today, but the Rams still are.
Rams are. The Seahawks are not. I feel bad for Russell Wilson, but this is what happens. They were able to get those defensive players on the cheap, chance to retire some of these other guys you can't pay. And, Earl Thomas going out is a huge deal. They had their safety, basically your leader of that secondary in a passing league to be out is massive. And, of course, the Chargers blew them up in the secondary today. There were a couple blown coverages. When that stuff happens, there you go. So the Seahawks are absolutely a pretender. Rams are absolutely the real deal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That might be the easiest division aspect of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, in the NFC, that's for sure. Because the Redskins and the Eagles are so close, but the AFC South is pretty dog shit after the Texans. But let's see here. So the NFC North, you got two teams. The Packers. You have the Packers that seem to be the most unlucky team this year and the most roller coaster of a team. They have the craziest games. Other than I think they got pretty did they get worked today by the Pats 31-17? But was it like garbage time that they got a touchdown the Pats, or did they actually beat the Packers pretty standard?
No, it went about as it went as about as expected. It was close in the beginning, 17-17.
Oh.
And then Tom just, a trick play here, the Edelman pass that led to a touchdown. I mean, I thought it was an ass kicking. I thought, but the Packers don't have anybody you have to worry about offensively outside of Aaron Rodgers. But he has, they trade Ty Montgomery because of his shit that he pulled coming out of the end zone last week. And then he fumbled against the Rams. I get really pissed when people compare Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady. Like, Aaron Rodgers is an excellent quarterback. He is a generational type talent. The problem is he's not a generation type leader, I guess, for lack of a better term.
What do you mean?
Well, and what I mean by that is I think Tom Brady does these intangibles. To Tom Brady, all this matters is, hey, what are their tendencies with 12 to 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter if they're down by 8 or up by 8 or up by 5? It's not just like, hey, this is what they like to run, this is what they like to do. Throw some key. I just don't think he has that. And I think this shit with Mike McCarthy, Mike McCarthy is a very good coach. And I think this little shit thing with them going back and forth, they can't get free agents and all this stuff. And instead of Aaron being this galvanizing type thing for the franchise, they have this shit. We're like, hey, they make it look good, boom, boom, boom. Like, maybe it comes down to the last position, but in the end, they're the inferior team, and they need these miracles ripped out of their ass to make it look good.
So they're not the real deal.
What was that?
So they're not the real deal.
No. I mean, they have no shot.
The Bears, the Vikings.
Vikings maybe, but their defense just hasn't looked good, and getting their ass kicked by Buffalo at home. I don't give a shit what the reason is. It is the wildest thing. I mean, how could you?
Yeah.
I would
what were you doing? What were you doing that Sunday? Why did they come to your barn and beat the shit out of you? They're the worst team.
Well, and the way you look at it is we could have this conversation, but if you ask me these questions, the first thing that comes to mind is, would I put $100 on them to make the NFC Championship? And the answer is no.
Okay. The Bears.
That's
because they have a pretty athletic quarterback, but no, you don't think so?
No, he's very athletic. I will fight till the end of time that there were a couple different options, but he's doing the job.
You don't think the Bears are the real deal though?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think they'll make the playoffs the way this is shaping up. I think the Vikings still have a better team, and I think Green Bay owns so much real estate in their heads that I really don't know what to do. I mean, think about what Green Bay did with no weapons. Khalil Mack coming over, who terrorized them. Aaron Rodgers is beat up as you've ever seen, and they still beat him. You're just like, Jesus, where do we go from here?
So, no real deals really coming out of the NFC North for you in that one.
No real deals, no. I really think, man, to make it easy for all our listeners, I think that the easiest way to do it is this thing's going to come down to the Rams and Saints again. I mean, what you saw today, if anybody watched it, was the cornerstone for the NFC.
So the Saints are the real deal, obviously. But wait, we can't forget about the Panthers. Still have the Panthers left. Like, do you think you don't think the Panthers can get past the Saints early on in the playoffs?
No, and the only reason why I think that is just, while the Panthers are a good football team, I just don't think they have the firepower. I mean, the Saints, it turned into at one point where they had 12 possessions and one punt in the first half between the two teams. And the Rams, would we not call the Rams an elite defense with Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters? You know what I'm saying? Like, would we not call that an elite defense? And they sliced them up with ease, So that's my whole thing with the Panthers is not so much like, I just don't know I don't think they have the firepower to go in one of these, 48, 45 pack football
Here's my last thing, and then we're gonna bounce off so I can edit this and get it up tonight. Sponsored by Viagra. Saints, Rams, Chiefs, Patriots. That's gonna be your conference championships. Come January. Wait, is it in January?
The only one I would hold off on is you have a real debate between the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Oh.
That's a real problem because you have a lot of unknowns in between them. You know, the Steelers started off slow, but they have experience. Their defense is getting better and better every week. So without Brian Shazier, who they thought they were going to have a bunch of issues, you have the Chiefs who really, I mean, if I haven't been through this goddamn show so many times and lost a shit ton of money on the Chiefs come December, I would be more inclined to I'll put them in the AFC Championship. But I've been down this road before, you know? So I would wait and see, you know, again, you have $100. It's your last $100. You have to put it on the Chiefs or the Steelers. I mean, where are you going to put your money?
Especially if Bell comes back.
I mean, yeah, you know, now you're going to go, you know, Calville running back. You know, now they can just run the ball down your throat when it's 25 degrees outside and snowing and you can't throw the ball. I mean,
we'll have to do this again there's so many what?
No, I just say that that's the one debate I think in the AFC that will have to sort itself out. You know, like I said, this to me is when I pay attention. It's come November. You know?
Yeah, we'll have to. I was just about to say we'll have to do this again right before the playoffs start. We'll do like a little playoff breakdown, a little playoff bracket, and that's what we should do. We should have one episode every week of the playoffs. And just see who's right. We'll get my brother in on it. We'll get Nate in on it, and we'll hold count and see who's right.
Yeah, I'm just glad we actually got an informative podcast out there outside of just dick jokes.
Yeah, this is fun. I like going through it all. Yeah, hopefully people make it all the way to this far into the episode and listen to. I still the jury's still out. I don't know if people actually listen to the whole things, but I'll go check my Google Analytics, my YouTube Analytics, and see if we got people watching this thing for more than 5 minutes. Hey, see if that works.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, we'll have to get Nathan on here to tell us some more dick and chick stories on there to get the listeners before we get to something informative.
For how much he traveled today, and how crazy his weekend was, he sounded pretty coherent. I was pretty impressed with the kid.
Dude, I FaceTimed him during one of the games, and he just was it looked like somebody shit in his eyes, and I was just like, oh, Christ.
He's crippled, just done for.
It's like, hey, buddy, do you want me to play some loud music and bang some pots and pans for you? Yeah, fuck.
You should not be on Snapchat. Put your Snapchat away right now.
So oh my God, you're so funny. Don't push. I made it through this. I feel pretty good. I thought when you're like, yeah, I'll call you in 30. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be fucking dead. There's no way. And for all our listeners, so my whole thing in the last one was I'll never do it shit tastes drunk. This is
why not?
This is way worse with coming off that bottle of drinking since 10 in the morning watching Red Zone. Oh, fuck.
Oh, dude, Red Zone, that's what happens. If you start drinking and watching Red Zone, you're done for because there's no commercials. You lose track of time. Yeah, it's all of a sudden it's been 6-7 hours and you're like, holy shit, I've only gotten up to go pee and then refill my glass. You get wrecked. So I like it better when I don't get wrecked, and Monday isn't such a pain in the ass. It's such a punch to the face. But I do gotta sign off so I can get this thing edited and post it up here, and I don't fall face first on my desk.
All right, brother, man. Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for everybody for listening.
Yeah, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Later, bud.